Hi, Gene Burnett from geneburnett.com with another songwriting tip. Just a little tip from a guy who's written over 900 of them. I don't know anything about really about formula songs or how to make money with songs or how to write hit songs or how to please other people with your songs. I do those things, but I don't really know how to do those things. What I do is please myself. I know how to write a song that satisfies me and makes me feel better for having written it and makes my life feel a little more sorted out for having written it. And then I share it so that other people might get a similar benefit from the tune that I worked on. For me, the song's done its work once I write it. So these are not tips that are coming from a place of I can show you how to write a better song and make more money at it. This is more like these are just little tips to help you bring what's inside of you outside of you in a way that's satisfying and makes you feel a little bit better for having done that. So this has to do with holding songwriting problems in your mind, especially when you reach a difficult place. Like, I notice when I listen to people's amateur songwriters, I listen to a decent amount of them. I mean, people who don't have, who aren't signed by major labels or like super pros, just regular folks who are making music. A lot of times they settle for a really easy rhyme because it's easy. It fits the scheme, but it doesn't advance thinking and drinking, love and above and those kind of things. Sometimes to sit down and think of a better rhyme can seem like really, really daunting. Like it seems impossible. But here's the thing: you have a partner, a songwriting partner inside you in your unconscious mind, where all these ideas come from in the first place. Even your editing impulses come from somewhere. Nobody knows where that is. So we're just going to call that your unconscious mind, whatever the hell that means. But it's there. It's definitely there. Some's there. And that part of your brain and your mind can actually help you finish a song or help you write the song, and is in fact, generally speaking, is writing the song as you go, if you just get the fuck out of the way and let it come through, so that you can recognize, oh, that makes me feel better. That was the thing that was inside that had to come through. A feeling, a thought, an insight, an idea, a joke, whatever it is. When you hit it on the spot, you'll know, like, this works. And I don't think these tired, easy to discover cliche, super dumb, simple rhymes, I don't believe that will release that charge for you or for me very often. I don't mind a good cliche. If it releases that charge for me, I will put it in there. I've got plenty in my songs, but I don't look to do that. I'm looking for the charge. If the cliche happens to do it, especially if I can change it a little bit or put a slightly different spin so it's not identical to the usual way, then I will do it. But the main thing is to release that charge. And I doubt that a super easy rhyme, when you get to a difficult place, will be the way. So here's the thing: hold the problem in your mind. This is what I do. I hold the problem in my mind. Like, it's like, say it's three. This is really especially helpful if you happen to write. If you don't use rhymes or meter in your writing, if your lyrics aren't metered at all, and if like free form, and if your lyrics don't have to rhyme, then you can just say whatever you want. It's hard. It's still hard to make it good and moving to people and satisfy yourself, but you're not nearly as bound structurally. If you have a structure like wanting your lyrics to rhyme, and you want the rhythm, there to be a rhythm to this thing, then that's what I'm talking about. That's what I do almost exclusively. I jump out of that box now and then, but pretty rarely. So you hold it in your mind. So say you've got a certain number of syllables, something like that, and you have a certain number of syllables to get to you're trying to say a certain thing, and you're trying to make it fit this meter, and you're trying to make it fit that rhyme scheme, and you're stuck, and maybe the only answer is a cliche, and you just don't want to do it, and so you just hold that problem. What I like to do is to run through the song in my head up to the point where the problem is, where the struggle is. I run through that song in my head as I fall asleep. And this is to tell my unconscious mind, not only do you run the show here, but I'm asking you for help. I'm not just going to take it when it barges through my ego wall. I'm going to say, hey, how about helping me out here? So I had one recently where I had a 4-line sort of a chorus, bridge-like chorus, and they all kind of rhymed. They all 4 rhymed, but these 2 are more exact, and these 2 are more exact, and it didn't work, and it was ending on a weird note, and it was kind of like one kind of line, then another kind of line, then another kind of line that matched the first kind of line, and then a 4th one, so the 2nd and 4th matched, and I just thought, why don't I like this? It just does not work. It just does not work. So I just went to bed holding that idea, holding that idea, holding that idea in my head. I had done this earlier in the song and gotten out of a similar problem. I just went to bed with that problem really on my mind. And then I just woke up in the morning and I still had the song a little bit on my mind, and I just kind of, I don't know, I just took a breath and the answer just popped into my head, and I took that 2nd line and switched it with the 3rd line. So the 1 and the 2 are the ones that are similar, and then the 3 and the 4 are the ones that are similar. And there's still maybe a word or 2 in there that I might have to continue to adjust and tweak, but that is definitely the way the song goes now. It makes much more musical and emotional sense to do it that way. So that my advice is to don't give up when the only answer is a cliche. Don't give up. There might be a completely out of the box answer where you go around left field and come. You might have to sacrifice one of your babies, one of your precious words or lines in that verse, but it'll come up elsewhere. If you're flexible and listen for that feeling of completeness rather than just what's easy, rather than just what pops into your head. Think about that, and then hold that problem in your head, and you can hold it in your head for days. It's just in the back of your head, and every day you can come and look at I do it on my computer with a Word doc, or you could look at your notebook and you could just look at that problem and just hold it in your mind. Just hold that problem in your mind, and then don't be surprised if some other place, when you're out on a walk or in the shower or when you first wake up, if an answer doesn't come to you. And if it doesn't, you can always use the cliche, or you can always just give up on that song and park it somewhere and pick up another one. But I really like to hold. I like to go to, as I'm falling asleep, I like to turn over a lyrical problem in my head. It just helps me drift off, and so I'll go and I'll look at my half-finished ideas, and usually there's one that's kind of hot right now in my mind, and like I'm really intending to finish this, so I usually pick that one, and I just run through it in my mind, and I get to that problem, and I remember there's the problem. I got to get out of this hole. What am I trying to say here? I'm just not clear what this is, and I just go to bed, and when it's time to fall asleep, I rerun the song, rerun the idea up to that struggly place, and just put it in there, and even if I don't just wake up with a lightning bolt the next day that tells me, like this recent time, it just was that obvious. I went to bed with it. I woke up with it. I went to bed with the question, woke up with the answer. Even if it doesn't do that, intuitively I feel like I'm helping myself solve these problems at some point. It just helps my problem-solving ability. It helps my relation to the place of my brain that solves problems. It helps me cooperate rather than demand of myself. It helps me relax into something that I'm not in control of, that's a bit mysterious. And I open the door to that collaboration. So this is really about your internal collaborator, because it's not the you that you think of as yourself, the thinking self, Gene Burnett, I am writing a song now, this is my guitar, I am playing a song. It's not that self. It's the unconscious, or the place where these ideas come from. Call it your soul, you can call it whatever. I don't know what the hell it is. No one does really, but I don't think. Anyway, you're allowing that part to help you in a direct way rather than forcing its way into your life. So that's my songwriting tip. I have a playlist of all the songwriting tips that I've done so far, and I'm just putting these out there for fun because they're things that help me, and I like to help people write music and do stuff like that, open mics and just put your music out there. We spend all this time encouraging the super great to do this, and people start to feel like if you're not really, really great at this, why do it? As only the greats get to do this. But hell no, man, we all get to write songs and sing. The numbers don't matter, especially in today's world. You can buy them. You can buy numbers. You can buy Grammys. You can buy anything you want, man. I'm so glad I'm not trying to make a living at this. I don't even play gigs anymore. I'm just doing this for fun. So if you're in the spirit of doing this as a practice, not as a way to get things from people, but just as a practice, these tips may help you have a more satisfying musical expression, especially the lyrical part. So take good care, and we'll see you, down the line.